Welcome to Chad Hates Carbs. Today we're going to do a pretzel recipe for some soft pretzels. I saw this on my Facebook feed the other day and thought, hey, this would be kind of cool. So it's pretty simple as far as the recipe goes. I haven't tried cooking this, but it sure doesn't look hard. Basically the stuff we need is mozzarella cheese, cream cheese, an egg, some Psyllium Husk, and some kosher salt. So we're going to go ahead and preheat the oven to 375 degrees. And then we're going to go ahead and mix the mozzarella cheese and the cream cheese and then microwave it. Now, it does say room temperature egg, so I've had this sitting in warm water for just a second while I was getting everything ready. So I'm going to use that same bowl to do our mozzarella cheese and our cream cheese. Mozzarella cheese, we need 1.5 cups. So that's 1/2, 1.5. And then it says we need to get 3 level tablespoons, which I've heard online or read online just recently that that's about 1.5 ounces. So I hope that's correct. I never use cream cheese, so I don't know how to do this. It's fun. Let's see here. It's been a while since I've even had cream cheese in a recipe, and normally it's open here at the house, so I really don't have to fight it. So let's see, where are we at? 1/2. Let's mark that. What about there? So get that out of there. And it says 90 seconds. Anytime I see things like 90 seconds in a microwave, you're never sure if that's actually the right thing or not. I'm going to need that here in a second, so I'll just do this. So let's try 90 seconds and see what we get. And I don't like cream cheese plain, which is, I guess, a character flaw of mine. So later on in the recipe, it talks about how we need to roll out the dough. So what I'm doing here, because again, I don't like to clean things when I don't have to, and I can't really use flour. You're supposed to use the parchment paper to put on the tray. So I'm just going to use the parchment paper to actually do my rolling out of dough. So once we've got this in here for 90 seconds, we're going to go ahead and put the egg in there, and then we need to stir everything together. It recommends a whisk. And the last couple of times I've tried a recipe where I'm using the mozzarella in some kind of a dough, whisks don't really work very well. So I'm going to go ahead and stick with a nice fork, because it's obviously a little bit more rigid and can hold up a little bit better to a really kind of gooey mozzarella mixture. So, but again, the only things we're really adding here are the 2 cheeses, the egg, and the Psyllium Husk. And again, for those of you that haven't seen any of my earlier stuff, the Now brand is the one I'm using, the Now Psyllium Husk powder. This does have a tendency to lead to some purple color, so don't freak out if you see it. That's the Psyllium Husk. Alrighty, so now we've got our cheese, and our cheese, it's not mixed very well. It didn't melt together the way I would have thought it might have, but we can certainly mix that together. It smells pretty good, in spite of the fact that I'm not a cream cheese guy. Of course, it's mostly mozzarella smell in here right now. Okay, so now we're going to just go ahead and crack this egg in here. Now that we've got that kind of mixed in a little bit. Sorry, my wife being a food science major, she constantly talked about salmonella when we were in college, and so my entire adult life, every time I use eggs, I really feel this overriding need to wash my hands. So anyway, so we're just gonna mix this egg in here. Apologize for my throat. I was at a long night last night at the college where I teach a database class. My class, actually, I ended up lecturing for almost 3 hours and helping them with installs and working through some problems we had with the setup, and so a little bit hoarse today. So okay, so that's all mixed in. Now we're going to go ahead and add in psyllium husk, and we need to get 2 tablespoons of psyllium husk. You want to get the egg mixed in before you start doing the psyllium husk, though, because if you don't, you're really going to hate yourself, because the psyllium husk is going to just make it really hard to get it mixed in. The psyllium husk is going to be hard enough to mix it in if you're not trying, even if you're not trying to get the egg all beat together in there. So I really should have gotten the other tablespoon because it doesn't really fit in there very well. Okay, so now we're going to mix the psyllium husk in. And this is where you actually get something that looks like something other than a giant pile of melted cheese. That's the downside to this kind of recipe. Anytime you're dealing with these big cheese recipes, and see, there's no way a whisk is going to do anything with this because it's very much like a really thick, stiff dough. So you want to just kind of get it mixed in a little bit, and then you can start using your hands to actually get it worked in. And they do suggest that you oil your hands. And I hate this part because I hate it when my hands get oily. Let's go ahead and oil our hands up, and then let's get our dough. Get this stuff all worked in. My kids both work at a pizza place, so they are constantly dealing with fun stuff like balls of dough and whatnot, but I'm not a fan of the whole oiling of my... I don't like putting on any sort of creams or anything. Like sunscreen is disgusting and horrible. So I just don't go outside. That's my solution. This drives everybody in my family crazy. Hey. Alright, so it says now we want to get that all mixed in, and you can see the texture. It's got that, it is a lot like a bread dough kind of texture, kind of that sticky and whatever. So what we want to do now is we want to get about, it says a golf ball size or ping pong ball size. So let's go ahead and do that. And we're just going to roll this out. And I'm just making sticks because I'm not super fancy. I might try doing another. I'll try to do one curly one. I'm not getting these very thin, unfortunately. And obviously I'm having to hold this still because it's not wanting to do this, but this way I don't have to clean anything. Alright, let's see if I can. Nope, can't do it that way. Gotta roll it, because if you don't roll it, it starts to break apart. Alright, well, yeah, I don't know, these aren't going to get real thin, it doesn't look like. Let's try it like this. This works when you're using like a regular type of dough, but it doesn't look like it works very well with this. Rolling them isn't working very well either. But hey, that's what makes this fun, right? All the failures. Actually, let's put this one up here. I'm sure there's a better way to do this, but but I don't know what it is. So that's the fun of just reading a recipe and deciding, hey, I'm going to make this today. Yeah, that really doesn't work. You can't really pull it. It almost makes me wonder if it'd be better to cut these off as opposed to, because it disconnects. You can see they disconnect a little bit. I mean, obviously because this is cheese, it's going to melt together. So that's the one nice thing about it. Just go ahead and separate this out into pieces to see how many I'm going to end up with. Looks like I'm not going to have that many if I make them this big. That's okay. Probably going to eat one of these for lunch or something. Maybe get some spaghetti sauce out. Just dip it. It's like kind of a side with my eggs. Yep, this is just not rolling out very well. Some of it is I'm not pushing very hard, I think. But if I push, because my hands are, I can't get this to stay still. Yeah. Maybe next time I just need to bite the bullet and not use the parchment paper. That was a piece of laziness that actually ends up costing me more work. So I will not do that next time. Let's just mash it down. Okay, well this wouldn't be a Chad Hates Carbs episode without something going wrong. So the camera died, and I forgot, hey, I should sprinkle some pretzel salt on these breadsticks, pretzels, whatever. And that's hot, by the way. So it says to go ahead and brush it with water. There's already some oil on this guy. So we're gonna, come on now. We're gonna get a little bit of salt on here. And this is just coarse salt, regular old coarse salt. Sprinkle that on that all the way across. There we go. Now let's try that again. Sorry about that. And we are letting it sit for about 15 minutes in there, just to go that direction. I am using convection. So normally what you do is set your timer for 10 or 15 minutes and then rotate it. Because I'm using convection, I'm not as worried about that. But I am going to put it at about 10 minutes, 15 minutes, and then check them to see what's going on with them. So just wanted to let you know, yes, that's actually how you're supposed to make it. Sorry about that. We'll be back in a few minutes. So we've got our nice browned pretzels here. Let's go ahead and try them. Got a little bit of mustard, and let's see what they taste like. That's not bad. There's definitely, I don't know if you can see, I'm going to walk up to the camera and it's probably not going to take it very well. But it definitely has a crust on the outside. That's kind of amazing, in all honesty. That's really good. It's pretty crazy. I bet my son would actually like these better than regular pretzels. Okay, you don't like pretzels. That's really good. I have to admit, I was not expecting these to turn out this good. And they're really simple. I mean, I guess the downside is putting them in the oven and rolling them out. I guess I was a failure at that, but I don't know, failure or a lot, I think. Really good. Really, really good. 2 thumbs up. Absolutely would recommend. I do think I want to figure out a better way to roll them out or whatever. The parchment paper thing did not work at all, obviously. But definitely worth a shot if you are interested in any kind of pretzel type thing. And it's nice because a lot of times you will be using the mozzarella for other recipes, so it's pretty simple, and like I said, there's not a lot of crazy ingredients. So Till next time, thanks for watching, and I'll talk to you soon.